Hi, my name is Leslie Williams, and I'm in San Diego, California. And I apologize I don't make videos very well. And I also apologize for the quality of this video. Even though it is high definition, it does not take very good pictures of pretty much anybody. For some reason, it makes your face appear round. And I would not even doubt if they're not altering my video in reference to the shading of my face, and possibly also in reference to probably trying to alter the appearance of my face. And I want fellow Americans to understand something. Now, I have read many blogs and even comments on the bottom of YouTube videos in reference to what other targets are talking about in reference to their experiences, and they're saying the same thing, that their video quality is being altered, and at times they've even noticed that it appears that when they go to make a YouTube video of themselves, that the actual video has been altered as well. It is a known fact that these organized stalking expeditions create homelessness of targets in order to make them destitute for multiple reasons, because they have multiple aspirations for just one particular target. And what they'll do is get people in the community to harass a target for them, okay? And it's all based on a lie. How is this done? To get a preliminary introduction in reference to how they do this, go to YouTube and type in "listen to a stranger." And the reason why they do this, they use syndicated police officers or people that are running around acting as police officers. And the reason why they do this is because they got to get the harassment done in a cost-effective manner. And they also have connections to unions, which means that people that are actually syndicated in these gang stalking expeditions, the higher-up ones, will get friends and family members of friends, and their friends will get their friends. And the way they get help in reference to how they can solicit the aid of just anybody in the community to help them to harass a target practically for free or for bartering purposes. I mean, or as a result of using bartering, intimidation, harassment themselves. There's multiple ways that these people are able to get anybody in the community at large to harass a target for them for free, okay? And even when they do it in relation to when they approach somebody and say, we need you to do this for us today, and if you do it for us today, we could possibly do this for you. From my observations and from what I've read from other targets, blogs, it appears that what they're doing is doing nothing but bartering with things that aren't even theirs, like using charities. That's one way to do it. Another way to do it is that they'll actually have people in the business community allow people they get to harass a target. They will allow that person to walk into a business and steal. I've caught Walmart's doing that. I literally flat out caught Walmart's. They got a guy to harass me inside of Walmart's, and then about a half hour later, as I was going into the McDonald's, I see this guy walking out with 2 pairs of jeans and a shirt, flat out right in his hands. He did not go through the checkout lanes at all. He went through the total opposite door of where he was supposed to be going out at, and a manager and an employee he walked right by them. And through extensive research, between seeing things that went on right before my literal eyes, and between the online research in reference to other targets' blogs and the comments on YouTube videos, I have no doubt in my mind that they use charities, okay, services through charities, services through social services, you name it, in order to be able to barter with people in order to get them to harass a target for them for free, because they want to make money off a target when a target breaks down. That's where the Medicare exploitation plays a role. And the whole goal for them is to be able to make money off of what they're doing towards a target, not to lose any, okay? Now, my name is Leslie Williams, and what I want people to understand is that what's happening, it's a nationwide syndicate. You can go to Google and type in a gang stalking tech, everything you need to know. And the best way to research this in reference to, it's a manifesto that you can find online. And the best way to use it as a research tool is to copy and paste it into a Word program, section it out, and then thoroughly and extensively research organized stalking and or gang stalking at YouTube and Google both. Also thoroughly research at YouTube and Google both remote neural monitoring, remote neural influencing, remote neural stimulating, and electronic harassment, which is also called V2K, microwave auditory effect, and scalar projected audible distinguishable signals. The computer-to-brain link is also used towards a target, which is also called the computer-to-brain feedback loop, and that is directly mentioned in the remote neural monitoring file that you can find online. It's called the computer-to-brain link. And so what us targets deal with on a non-stop basis is nothing but harassment by the business community, by people along our routes, no matter if it's walking route, it doesn't matter if we're taking any type of public transportation, trolley or bus, it doesn't matter what business we go into, it doesn't matter at all, okay? What they do is through the stalking aspect, and they know where you're at all times due to GPS tracking, possible neural implantation, which also has GPS capabilities because they're usually RFIDs, which means it's radio frequency tracking, and through physical organized stalking that they engage in using their cell phones. And through these three tracking efforts, they're able to literally pinpoint where a target is at all times, even when they're mobile, in order to be able to then place the organized stalkers along their path and also to notify the business community or any place that a target goes in, like a library or university or a university library. As a result of the tracking, they know where to place the organized stalkers at, and that is done to implement the harassment schemes through overt and covert means. Now, I was gang stalked out here in 2006. Hang on a second. I'm having a cigarette while I make this video. Hang on, I gotta relight it. For a sidebar notation, make sure you look at the YouTube video inside of this one. Now, I was a target out here in 2006, and I didn't know at that time what gang stalking was. This open physical gang stalking started towards me openly, flat out to where they were just openly harassing me in 2002. The electronic harassment started as well in late 2002 in Michigan. I didn't know what electronic harassment was until 2010, and didn't know what gang stalking was until 2009. I went from 2002 up until 2009 before I had a literal name, a terminology, to describe what was happening to me. And you would not believe the things that have happened to me in my life as a result of this campaign. Now, what I want people to understand is this, is that I already know as a direct result of what I've been through from 2002 up to this little date, which is April 21st, 2012. See, when you go through something over and over and over again, okay, what you do is you start to recognize patterns of behaviors and how they're happening over and over again, and then you start statistically thinking to yourself, there's no way that these things could be going on by themselves. In other words, they're not normal. They try to make them appear as normal appearing mishaps or coincidences. They're not. And this is how they operate, because they got to make sure that they can expedite their crimes and get away with them without getting caught. So plausible deniability can be their excuse in case they ever are, or in case the target ever tries to file a police report or a lawsuit or whatever. And so their whole goal is to use psychological mind games towards you, and to covertly tear down your life, every area of your life. Google organized stalking in landlords, organized stalking in property owners, organized stalking in bank employees, organized stalking in postal employees, organized stalking in Social Security, organized stalking in social services. Now, the reason why I say all this is because when they start this campaign towards you, they've already had you in their in their line of sight, in their crosshairs for years, and this is done to get a psychological to take a psychological profile of you, to get into your life, to find out every personal thing they can about you, to find out how you operate, to find out how you think, how you react to things, because the whole goal for them is to use covert and overt tactics, and tactics that totally stand outside the realm of normalcy, in order to psychologically undermine a target and to psychologically undermine what their perceptions are perceiving once the open campaign starts. And what I mean by open campaign, I'm talking about once the organized stalking starts, once the electronic harassment starts, and once the remote neural monitoring, influencing, and stimulating starts. Because the target doesn't have a name to describe what's happening to them, and then as a result, they don't have a way to research what's happening to them. So, and traumatization is always a part of these organized stalking expeditions. In other words, they will have targets raped, they will have them brutally assaulted, and they will do it more than once. And the reason why they do that is because since the electronic harassment and the remote neural monitoring is used towards a target covertly, the whole idea is to dissociate a target through the trauma, and then to keep the disassociation going as a result of the electronic harassment and the remote neural manipulation happening while they're in the midst of living in the effects of having their lives torn down, staged vehicle accidents, okay, work mobbing, which always produces unemployment, and then they have you evicted from your home. While you're going through all that, you're still being electronically harassed, remotely neurally manipulated, and subjected to organized stalking tactics along your route while you don't have a name to describe any of it. And I experienced all of this from 2002 up to 2006 in Michigan, came out here in San Diego in 2006, was out here for 37 days, and experienced nonstop gang stalking out here for 37 days while I was out here, and electronic harassment, and remote neural monitoring and manipulation. But I didn't have a name for none of it, so I thought it was just the freaks followed me from Dearborn and were waiting until I got in places to where they could covertly get around me, make statements like they would make them through the electronic harassment, through the electronic harassment. I just figured it was just somebody standing outside of bathroom doors, somebody that, I figured they were just friends of friends. To make a long story short, what they do, it's a nationwide syndicate, so what they do is that they sensitize the target to specific voice prints. Voice prints and voice morphing is if you have like an Android phone or a smartphone, what they'll do is hang on. See, they got an application. They have an application that's inside of Android phones and smartphones where you can buy it and then initiate it to where you can buy like certain characters' voices, like Popeye and Yosemite Sam and so on and so forth. As a result of having this application in your phone, you can literally speak into your phone, and anything that you say into your phone comes out in Popeye's voice. Okay. Well, what they have is they have technology that's run by artificial intelligence. It's called remote neural monitoring. And what they do, it's nothing but a computer network. And what they do is they route 2 to 3 to 4 laptops together. And we're talking about extremely expensive stuff. And they've also got this stuff scaled down to the handheld phone devices, and that's called the neural phone. And that technology can be understood by going to www.surveillanceissues.com and thoroughly investigate everything that's on their webpage, especially the hearing voices feature. Now, the point I'm trying to make is that with the electronic harassment, it's nothing but a computer that's run by software, and the software is run by artificial intelligence. And AI is nothing. It's really nothing. I was dealing with AI back in the early 90s, okay? Not directly myself, but I was head of the parts department for a computer firm, and I saw artificial intelligence software and even saw it in play a couple times. And what it does is that they got a computer that's basically got a built-in dictionary, okay? And what they do is streamline sentences and words together as a result of you being remotely neurally monitored. They remotely neurally monitor your evoked potentials, okay? Yeah, flat out. And the internet's saying that a transceiver implant is needed, and then some internet sites are saying it's not needed anymore. And how do they do that? Well, they basically just piggyback on the bioelectric resonance frequency of your brain that your brain emits. As a result, they're able to literally receive what your brain is processing. The computer breaks it down into, they break the EEG readouts down, and decode them. It decodes it through a neural decoding software program. And we're talking about a computer that's running on trillions of flops per second. Okay, that means trillions of bits of information per second. The computer scrutinizes what it reads in reference to the EEG readouts, and then the software picks the best desired dialogue to transmit back to the target based on the theme and nature of what the computer is reading from the target. And now, in reference to how the computer transmits back harassing dialogue, it's nothing but voice print algorithms of 3 to 5 different people's voices that they have installed within the software. The computer then picks the best response and then transmits back harassment using those voice prints back to the target to make it literally sound like human beings are harassing her or him based on the evoked potentials that are read. This is literally the software that they have. And if you go to www.surveillanceissues.com and thoroughly read everything they say, you will see that this technology has been around at least since the 60s. The government doesn't let go of anything that will help them and aid and abet them for multiple reasons, okay? So the point I'm trying to make here is that when I came out here in 2006, and since it's a nationwide syndicate, what they'll do is sensitize you to these voice prints and make you think that it's people that are talking. So when I heard them when I came out here in 2006, I just figured that it was just the gang stalkers who stalked me here and their friends. It wasn't. It was electronic harassment. And so they played off a big scheme directly using the San Diego police in order to get me to go back to Michigan because I was emailing prosecutors, Amnesty International, the ACLU, and everything concerning what had happened to me in Dearborn. And I made some notations in those emails about what I was experiencing here in California. I also made a notary. And they seen it through their cyber surveillance what I was doing. So they literally came to 2 campsites. They had a neighbor come to one, okay, and then the next day they came to the second one and literally played out a direct physical scheme using San Diego Police Department dispatch to make me believe that the stalkers were left because that morning they did not transmit the electronic harassment towards me. As a result of me believing it, okay, I broke down and went back to Michigan where I was tortured from 2006 all the way up until August 13th, 2011 when I came back. I get off the bus, the Greyhound bus, back here in San Diego, and I am gang stalked the second I got off the Greyhound bus. And there is undeniable proof, flat out, tangible, literal, physical proof that I have literally proved beyond any shadow of a doubt, let alone reasonable doubt, that I am being gang stalked out here. Now, since that proof exists, this tangible, literal, physical proof exists online right now, there is no way that this would happen to me again out here in San Diego unless somebody told them that I was coming out here, which means I was gang stalked to here. Now, in order to be gang stalked to here, I had to be gang stalked at the last place because somebody had to tell San Diego I was coming back here. So who told the people in Connecticut who told California that I was coming here? In other words, I left Michigan, went to Connecticut. I was gang stalked in Michigan to Connecticut. I was gang stalked in Connecticut. Came to California, was gang stalked to here, which proves that I was gang stalked in all 3 places because I already also have undeniable proof that I was gang stalked in Michigan. This in turn brings all of it alive. What happened in 2006, what happened in 2011 out here, and what is happening now out here. And as a result of me being gang stalked to here, it proves what happened in Connecticut and it proves what happened in California because there's no way in hell that anybody would be able to gang stalk me here unless they know I got here. Who told them? Do you understand what I'm telling you? Okay? There's no way a gang stalking expedition would automatically, out of the blue, start up towards me here, unless somebody knew I was here. And in order for somebody to know I was here, somebody had to tell the people here that I arrived. Now, how did they do that? Because I was gang stalked in Connecticut, and Connecticut is where I was at before I came here. So who told the people in Connecticut that I was there? The people in Michigan. Do you see what I'm saying? Now, in order for Connecticut gang stalkers to know I was in Connecticut, they had to have been told by the people in Michigan, which proves I was gang stalked in Michigan. I have email files that go all the way back to 2005 and 6, and the government has scrubbed some of the blogs offline already, okay, about what happened to me in Michigan. And they will do anything and everything they can to protect what they are involved in. They are literally neurally implanting hundreds of thousands of Americans right now for brain entrainment for criminal aspirations. And I expose these crimes to help people understand that this is not just happening to me. What is happening to me is not a direct result of any lifestyle I ever had, Any choice I ever made, it is the direct result of my life being overtly and covertly infiltrated through clever means, and a lot of that is going to continually be described over time. Understand this and be clear. The San Diego Police Department was directly involved in the physical gang stalking expedition in 2006. They were directly involved in playing out a huge scenario, which is called street daters and gang stalking circles, in 2006, flat out right to my face, to get me to believe that it would be okay to leave San Diego and go back to Michigan. And as a result, I was tortured for 4.5 years, sexually exploited, and where they made hundreds of thousands of dollars off me through exploiting my Medicare as a result. So what this is all about, money from every angle. My monthly Social Security disability check, they raped and robbed on multiple occasions. Hundreds of thousands of dollars were made off my Medicare and sexual exploitation by firefighters. I was literally sexually exploited by a Willits, California police officer when I was out here. Understand this and be clear. The government, what they will do is discredit me. In order to discredit the truth, they have to discredit the truth teller. They will make you think I'm a drug addict. They will make you think that I'm a prostitute. They will make you think that I'm a drug dealer, a social deviant, a pedophile, anything that they can in order to get you to walk away from the truth that I am telling. I am here today to tell you the truth, okay, to inform you about what's really going on in the neighborhood. Back in 1986, after I left my ex-husband, and before, I was literally being neurally manipulated from a remote distance outside of our homes, and I believe I was even remotely neurally manipulated. Actually, to be honest, totally honest, I have no reason to say this because I can admit it, because all the proof I got right now shows that this has been happening to me at least, okay, at least since 2002. I have no reason to lie and say what was going on back this, because I already got proof, okay? But I'm here to tell you all the truth, not just some of the truth, because all the truth is what matters in these crimes. I was literally being remotely neurally manipulated when I was out here in 83 when I was a military wife. I found out as a result of everything that, like I've already discussed in this video, when you are a target of this openly on a non-stop basis every single day from 2002 up to 2000 to this date, April 21st, 2012, you go back and you notice all the patterns and things that have happened to you and the methods and the tactics that were used. As a result, you go back further in space and time and realize that, geez, this shit was going on a long time before, but I just didn't notice it. See, this is what multiple targets I have read, that they stated the same thing on their blogs. That, ever since this open thing started towards me and my light's been torn down, I noticed how some of the things were already going on years before. And this is literally what I have literally read on Target's blogs. And because most people don't have no reason to go back over their lives 10 or 20 years before if nothing's happening towards them, because people are just living their lives and going about their day and going forward. There's no real reason for them to have to go back in time to look at the past. So I'm here to tell you today, fellow Americans and fellow San Diegoans, the San Diego police are directly, physically, literally involved in these crimes. And right now the fire department is just feeling like they can get around and just harass me with their siren harassment. Go to Google and type in organized stalking or gang stalking and fire truck harassment. The whole goal is to anchor mental responses, so every time you hear their harassment, you'll automatically be brought back into it's to form associations that you're being harassed through these means. It's crazy shit in the hood. I'm going to stop this video file. If it didn't take, I'm also audio taping it right now. And if it didn't take, then it'll prove remote neural monitoring is being used on me at this location. My name is Leslie Williams. I expose these crimes today to help you see the extreme criminalities that are happening towards me, so you can watch your back, so you can watch your children, your parents, and your friends. And one more last little note. Go to YouTube and type in Learning Disabled Woman Brutally Assaulted on MTS Bus. And look at what's in the comments feature. My name is Leslie Williams.